from Oklahoma.
Madam President, first of all, let me thank the chairman of the Judicial Committee for allowing me to say something about our vote that's coming up. Mr. Dowdell has been nominated to a vacancy in the U.S. District Court for the Northern District of Oklahoma, which sits in my hometown of Tulsa. In fact, he's a neighbor of mine in Tulsa. After graduating from the University of Tulsa's College of Law, Mr. Dowdell began his legal career as a clerk to the Chief Judge of the 10th Circuit Court of Appeals. Now, since 1983, Mr. Dowdell has accumulated extensive state and federal litigation experience representing a variety of clients and working at the same firm in Tulsa to which he is a partner. Mr. Dowdell is a native Tulsan and has been extensively involved in the community. In addition to being widely recognized for his work on behalf of his clients, I received a number of letters from members of the legal community throughout Tulsa highlighting Mr. Dowdell's work ethic, his character, his abilities as an advocate for his clients. Mr. Dowdell already has experience as a mediator and arbitrator and has served as an adjunct settlement judge in the Northern District for the past 14 years, which is the district for which he is nominated. He and his wife of 24 years, Rochelle, like my wife, and I have 4 children, which I always remind people that's just the right amount. If you're ever going to have 20 kids and grandkids, you got to start with 4, and he understands that. Although it often seems like I am on the opposite sides of many of this administration's judicial nominees, I can say with confidence that this is not the case with Mr. Dowdell. Mr. Dowdell has the requisite experience and judicial temperament to make a fine judge in the Northern District of Oklahoma. I'm particularly impressed with Mr. Dowdell's commitment to, quote, render decisions fairly and impartially applying the relevant law to the facts without bias or judgment to interpret a statute or a constitutional provision. In a case of the first impression by the first reading, and I'm quoting now, the statutory text or provision in the context of its plain and ordinary meaning. That says a lot. And it doesn't mean that he's not going to consult foreign law when interpreting the United States Constitution. Too often in this country, we have judges applying their own meanings to the Constitution and to the laws passed by Congress, or allowing their own biases to affect their decisions. I can state confidently to my colleagues that Judge Dowdell will not be this type of a judge. In his questions for the record to the Judiciary Committee, Mr. Dowdell has stated that he does not agree with the notion that the Constitution is a living document that constantly evolves as society interprets it. He further states that the Constitution changes only through the amendment process as set forth in Article 5 of the Constitution. That's refreshing. A court's job is to interpret and apply the Constitution, not to add or amend the rights containing therein. And that's a quote by him. Based on these statements, I can say that Mr. Dowdell's judicial philosophy is in keeping with the framers and in lockstep with my own philosophy. My only wish is that we'd get more of this type of judicial nominee from the administration. And it's for these reasons that I support Mr. Dowdell's confirmation to the United States District Court for the Northern District of Oklahoma, and I hope that my colleagues will do the same. This vote should be coming up in about 10 minutes, and I do encourage a positive vote on Mr. Dowdell. That I yield the floor.